Evening all, or afternoon. 5 o'clock, evening, is it evening, is it afternoon? Never really sure. So welcome to Tuesday afternoon, let's go for afternoon Pilates. So we're going to focus today on a lot of stretch and release and also pelvic stability. It's not going to be a session where we're doing too much abdominal work, too much direct abdominal work. We're also not going to be lying on our bellies at all today because my stomach has popped out of nowhere and it's getting uncomfortable to lie on my tummy. So we're not going to be doing anything on our tummy. So just standing on our backs, and then we'll see how time's going, and we may well pop ourselves onto our sides as well. So let's make sure that we have got a comfortable area to work in. We have got a non-slip floor, so whether that's carpet or mats, and we will get going. Okie dokie. So let's just have our feet hip distance apart. Have a little play through those ankles. Maybe just raise up onto the toes. Maybe just pedal from side to side. So I quite like to lift up on one side and then onto the other and just alternate which foot rises up first. Just a little bit of mobility through the ankles. Let's do one more either side. And then just allow those feet to settle down into the mat. Have a lift and spread of your toes and then release them down into the floor. Lovely and balanced. We soften the knees and tuck our pelvis just underneath us. We start to draw in just gently through the belly button. So just imagine you've popped a belt on and maybe you've done your belt up just to a comfortable, not sucking in hard. We just feel like we've got that little bit of security, belly button to spine. From there, start to open your chest, lift tall and give the shoulders a little bit of a shrug, a little bit of movement there to relax them back and down. Chin is parallel to the floor and we're stretching up lovely and tall to the crown of the head. So we've just aligned ourselves there in that beautiful posture. Let's keep that lovely long length in the spine and just let the chin come down. So imagine that your head's now got really heavy. I mean, your head is pretty heavy anyway. It's about 3 to 4 kilos. And then just allow the head to roll a little bit side to side. I think this is one of my favorite movements. So simple, but it does feel really great. So notice perhaps whether there's any knotted areas on one side or the other. And then if we just bring our head back up in the center, so up you go with that head. Draw up through the top of the crown and just peek over the right one. Drawing those shoulders back a little bit more as you do. And then go through the center, a little bit of a peek over that left one. And then just come back to the center and drop your right ear down. So imagine that your head's got really heavy again and that right ear is hanging right down to your shoulder. And then just come up, 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 up and pop the left ear down towards that left shoulder. So lovely heavy head again. And then just bring your head back up on top. Relax your arms, take a lovely deep breath into the top. So you're going to inhale up. Imagine you're lengthening through the whole of that body and then exhale down. So inhaling up again. If you can, feel the rib cage expand as you inhale and then feel it reduce back down again as you exhale. So we'll do this one more time. And then this time I want you to inhale up, and as your arms come back down, start to roll that spine all the way down. So let the head nod first, so the chin comes down. We follow with the head, and then we imagine each vertebrae of the spine feeling kind of like a rag doll here, just rolling over in front. And then if you take a little pause at the bottom and just chill there for a second. And then start to work your way back up again. So start to roll your way back up your spine. And then take a lovely big inhale breath. Now we're going to do that again. So let the arms come down And then let's start to take the chin down. So let the chin come down and imagine you're a rag doll again. Over you go. And just pause at the bottom, hang out there for a little second. And then start to work your way all the way back up again. Take another breath into the top. And then just relax your arms down to the side. Now let's keep the top of our pelvis lovely and stable. So imagine that you're trying to keep the line of your trousers parallel to the floor here, and just start to creep down with your right fingertips. I want you to imagine you're pushing your left foot down into the floor. So we don't want the left hip to come up. So that left foot pushes down and we feel the opening through left hand side. We can add a bit of arm if you'd like to take a bit more stretch. And then creep on back to center. Just check the pelvis is nice and level. Down you go with that left one. And then take a lovely long reach over. And just pause there for a second. And then come back to the center. Bring your arms out to a T shape, so shoulder height. And then we're just going to roll our spine forwards. So imagine that you're trying to arch your spine over a big beach ball that's just in front of you. And then we're bringing it back and you're squeezing the shoulder blades together slightly. So again, sweep forwards, reach over that big old beach ball, and then come back again. And then just do that twice more. So we're really opening and then just gently closing through the upper back. Let's do that one last time here. Opening the upper back, closing the upper back, and relax those arms down. Circling your right shoulder back. So let's come right up towards the ear, back and down. Go one more time on that right side. So lovely big shoulder circles, quite exaggerated. Go to the left side. Maybe notice if the left side feels different to the right one. And then if we go both together, so my left shoulder is normally really creaky, but actually where we've been in lockdown and I just haven't been teaching as many classes, the benefit of that is I just don't have quite as much muscle soreness and quite have stiffness through my joints that I usually have. So that's a little welcome benefit. And then let's do one more. And then just relax those shoulders back and down. Drop your chin like you did at the beginning. And then again, just let that head rock a little bit side to side. And then if you go ahead and just bring your head all the way back up, and let's take a breath to the ceiling. Even bigger than your first round of breaths, exhale down. And again, take a lovely big breath to the ceiling. And let's just do one more of those for that before we hit the floor. So let's come all the way up, feel the ribs expand. And then exhale down. Lovely. Okay, super. So let's come down onto the floor. So however you feel most comfortable coming down onto your back. So I quite like to come down onto my toes, cross over, sit my bottom, check I've got enough room, maybe do a little bum shuffle, and then you can have a nice roll down so you can hold behind the thighs and actually massage that spine on the way down. So maybe when we get down, oh, it feels nice to have a little bit of a rock of that lower back. And then if we maybe send the knees side to side as well. So just rolling out that lower spine, using your body weight like a rolling pin. Again, so simple, but just feels great, really super effective. And then just relax your feet down to the floor. Just before we move on here, I want us to drop into a butterfly stretch to allow your hips to open. Relax your arms anywhere they feel comfortable. And then just allow your knees to slowly drop out so that the soles of the feet just wiggle together and the knees are giving you the weight of the knees, the weight of the legs is giving you that lovely stretch through both the inner thigh and up into the hip joint itself. So we don't want to force it, just let gravity do its thing and just let the weight of your legs relax into that stretch. Pause here for a couple of deep breaths. You might find that after a couple of breaths, your knees just drop a little bit wider as you relax into that position and as your body stops trying to resist that stretch. So you might find that you just loosen up and drop the knees. And then if you just gently come on back to the center. And then before we start, just to finish off here, let the knees, again, just roll a little bit from side to side like you did when you had your knees tucked in. Maybe take the head the opposite way as well. So getting that really nice twist through the spine. You're just taking the knees over as far as it feels good. So it can just be a little tiny movement if that feels good to you. Let's do one more here to that left side and then center ourselves up. Nice. Okay, so we're going to start with some single leg circles, okay? So working on pelvic stability. So let's just find our neutral spine. So maybe you want to lift your pelvis and then lay it back down to the floor. So we're looking for a natural amount of curve in the spine. We don't want any exaggerated lift or arch through the back. So for myself, I have got quite a severe anterior tilt on my pelvis. So if I wasn't paying attention to neutral spine, I would naturally lay with a big arch under my back and my pelvis tipping forwards. So I can feel that my lower back here is completely away from the floor. So I just need to be aware that I'm drawing back into neutral spine there and just kissing the mat with my lower back. We're going to take your right leg, just bring it in towards your chest, and we're going to give the hamstring a little bit of a stretch. So we're trying to just gently get rid of a little bit of this bend behind the knee, but again, don't force it. Hamstrings is a notoriously tight muscle group in most of us, most of the population. So we want to give it a little bit of time to relax. I like to use my hands as well to just encourage that hamstring to ease out a bit. Maybe work the foot as well. It's nice to work through the ankle joint, and it kind of takes your mind off the hamstring stretch while we're just letting it do its thing there. So we'll go around in other directions and then just pause and see if again we can think a bit more about the eradicating a little bit of this bend behind the knee. So if you find that you've got a big bend behind your knee, then just don't bring the leg in as far and see if you can lengthen it away. So now the right leg is going to stay exactly where it is. Relax your arms down to the floor. Imagine a circle up on the ceiling above you. Now your toes are going to draw the perimeter of that circle, and your pelvis is going to stay lovely and stable the whole way through. So we go anti-clockwise with the right leg because we always want to move across the body first. So we sweep down past that left side and the leg starts to come to the bottom of your circle. So think about 6 o'clock on your clock face. We come out towards 3 o'clock and then back up to 12 o'clock. And all the time you're trying to keep that lower back just kissing that mat, so gently glued down. We're trying not to let the hips or the pelvis rock from side to side. So let's do another, I think we'll do another 3 more of those. So maybe using some fingertips on the hip bones, that sometimes helps you to feel what's moving around. I can't really feel my hip bones anymore. It's all getting a bit babyfied. So let's go again. Let's just do 1 more. So round we go. Beautiful. And then if you just pause in the center, pause where we started, bend your right leg, pop your hands over your shin, give it a good old hug, stretch away with that left one. So see if you can stretch the left one really as far away from you as possible. Point down into your toes and have a good old hug on that right side. Now while we're here on the floor, pop your left hand over your shin. So left hand is over the right shin. Your right arm is going to relax out in a T shape and draw that knee across your body into, again, a lovely spine twist. Look away to your right fingertips if you want to. And then gently just come on back and relax that foot to the floor. So let's have both our feet coming up. Relax your arms. Maybe just readjust the pelvis if you need to. Maybe just lift and lower. And then if we bring that leg in, so left one's going to stretch out now. So mostly if you're right-handed, you're going to find this left one is a lot tighter. So I can see already I've got quite a big kink behind this knee and it's feeling a lot tighter than the right side. So maybe just use the hands to relax encourage the hamstring to relax. A little bit of a point and flex, circle through the ankles as well. And then just pause the foot and see if you can encourage any more straightness through that left side. So relax your arms down. Imagine you've glued your pelvis down. And this time we're going to be going clockwise. Draw your little imaginary clock face on the ceiling. And around we go to 3 o'clock. So just brushing past that resting right thigh. Feel the weight just traveling to the lower abdominals as we draw 6 o'clock. And then feel how we almost want to roll and follow that left leg as we draw 9 o'clock. Keep an eye if you can on your right knee. It will want to drop out to the side as a counterbalance, but we don't actually want that to happen. So keeping that pelvis beautifully glued down to the floor. So you've got 3 more to go. Making those movements very controlled. So keep thinking about the clock face and keep thinking about whether you're reaching each of those numbers on your clock face. So again, let's go around here. And when we get back to our 12, we're going to pause so that we can bring that knee in. We're going to give it a good old hug. And if you stretch out and away with that right side, if you've got room, really point down into those toes. And then if we keep our right hand over our shin, extend your left arm and just draw that knee over and enjoy that spine twist for a moment. And then let's just come back to center, bring our feet up, relax your arms and just let those knees have a little shuffle side to side again. So just as small or as big as feels comfortable, but have a little roll out for that lower back. Use that rolling pin. Let's do 1 more to either side, maybe bringing the head in. And then just relax. So let's work again on that pelvic stability here. So we're going to be taking the feet stay flat to the floor to start with. I want you to extend your arms up above your chest, so as though you're pointing up to the ceiling, but still retain that feeling of drawing the shoulder blades back and down. We don't want to be pushing up and creating a big gap under the back of this shoulder here. Again, imagine you've glued your pelvis down to the floor. Bit of coordination needed. We're going to be opening opposite arm and leg, so always opposites. As my right arm opens, my left knee starts to also drop out to the floor into a little half butterfly stretch. And as the weight of the arms and the legs opens out, we try and keep ourselves glued down to that floor as much as we can. So keep that glue underneath your lower back. It's also underneath your upper back now. Keep drawing yourself down to the floor. So we're going to do 1 more of these to either side, and then we're just going to pause so that I can give you another option if you want a little bit more weight in the exercise. So it's going to be completely up to you. open out, left arm, right leg, keeping yourself glued down into the center. And then if we just pause here, now your option if you want it is to create tabletop legs. So we tighten our whole belly button to spine. Up one, we draw up two. Now I'm not going to be using tabletop legs. I'm going to keep my feet flat on the floor, but it's completely up to you. So if you've got those lovely tabletop legs, then we've got a little bit more weight, challenging through that whole abdominal area, but particularly down to the lower section of tummy muscles. So legs are pretty heavy, so you've got a lot more weight to control when they're lifted like that. So just try and be aware that the lower back stays glued down into the floor. So we're going to do one more to either side is all. And then let's just do one more of those. Nice. Come back to the center. Relax your arms down into a comfortable position, and I want you to drop into that lovely butterfly stretch again. So allow the knees to come out, allow the soles of the feet to just sit together, and let's just relax there for a moment. So just feel the weight of the knees, drawing the legs down to the floor. Those heavy, heavy legs again. We're using the weight of them to open up through the hip joint and also to let those inner thighs loosen out. Let's bring those knees back on up to the centre. And again, just to finish off the work on our back, take that little roll from side to side, so rolling pin. Nice. Lovely. And then just pause in the centre. Bring your knees up and into your chest. Clasp your hands behind your thighs. Take your little halfway lift and pause, and just draw back into those shoulders. Have a little push on up. And we're going to here onto hands and knees. So let's come on over. Take a moment to get comfy, and then before we move into an exercise, have a sit down into your child's pose. Now if you find it more comfortable to take your knees wider, then please do. So I'm finding now that as I'm getting a bit of a belly, I need to take my knees wider. So my belly's literally got somewhere to go, because if my knees are together, then my belly's just squashing up against my diaphragm and it's really uncomfortable. So if you need to take those knees wider, please do. You can either stay up here or drop a little lower. And then just step those hands on in. Give yourself a lovely roll back up, and if the knees are wide, we just bring them back in again. We square ourselves up, so we're going to move into our Superman here, and just take a moment to draw your belly button up into your spine. Think about lifting up the space between the shoulder blades as well, and lengthen into the crown of that head. We're going to go opposite arm to leg. So hopefully you can get your leg all the way up. I've got the sofa in the way. So very, very gentle as you change sides. So we're looking for the leg to come all the way up to hip height. So mine can't get up there because of the sofa, but hopefully yours can. And the arm up to the height of our shoulder. Now take a little break anytime you need to, particularly on the wrists. And just try and keep that feeling of lifting both through your midsection and up through the shoulder blades as well. Draw that belly button through. Let's have one more on either side. Again, let's have an extension. And then if you pause here, release that right hand underneath your body, thread that needle and down you go if that's comfortable. Take a little push on back up to centre. And then if you take that left one through as well. Little push on back up to centre, and then let's sit back down again here into child's pose. So back we go and just relax that low spine. Maybe have a little shuffle from side to side. And then you can take your hands back if you like and relax your shoulders. And then rolling up in your own time. Now use your hands to help you if you would like. I'm finding now that I need my hands to help me roll up. All the way up to the top. Relax the shoulders and sit lovely and tall. So nice. So let's come round to the front. And I want us to take that butterfly stretch again, but seated this time. So if you bring the soles of your feet together, lift yourself up lovely and tall. Relax those knees out to the side. Now if you find that when you've got the soles of your feet together, your knees are very high, further away from you, so that to help relieve some of the tightness in those hips. Find your seat bones. Take a lovely deep breath in, and then as you exhale, imagine you're sending your chest just forwards towards your feet. You might feel like you need to just shuffle your seat bones back a little bit to help you get that stretch. So I don't really want you to curve the spine. I want you to try and keep the spine long as you just take that lovely gentle stretch. And then just creep on back up. Let's keep our feet here in butterfly as we take a stretch round to that right side, using those hands for a little bit of support. So final spine twist. And then come back through the centre, over you go to the left. And then just come back to the centre and relax those arms down. So we're going to bring ourselves back up to standing, however is most comfortable for you. So it might be that you cross your legs over and roll over your shins so that you can untuck your feet and come up onto your tiptoes. So whatever is working for you. And then let's start to roll our spine up. So we take the heels down and we start to roll all the way back up. And then if you take a lovely big inhale up and exhale down, and then just take one more lovely big inhale up, exhale down, and then this last time we bring those hands down into prayer. So come up, take your hands together, and as your hands come down to finish off your session, let your shoulders relax down and back. Take your little bow to finish your session for today. And we are finished. If you enjoyed that phase, whether you're watching now or whether you're planning to join in later. So any questions, do leave me a question in the comments and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon. Stay safe, stay happy and stay healthy.